Welcome to Module 2, Lesson 2. And now the fun part begins because we're going to start getting our hands dirty actually creating some GPTs. Now we're going to start out with a fun and simple example to start to familiarize yourself with the GPT interface. The example we're going to start with is a fun one I thought up with my daughter. So my daughter's 7 years old and she loves Squish Mallows. And those that don't know what these are, they're like these giant plush toys. They're almost like a pillow. There's one right here for context. And she loves to draw these. So we thought it would be cool to create a GPT that allowed her to give it a description or upload a hand-drawn image of a Squishmallow she created and have the GPT use the DALL-E 3 integration to actually create a realistic image of a Squishmallow. Let's build it. All right, like we learned in the last lesson, let's start by going to the Explore tab over on the left-hand side. And we're going to click the first option, Create a GPT. This is going to open up the interface, and you'll see here we have the Create and the Configure tab. We're going to build this one in the Create tab, which is more of the training wheels version to give you an idea of what this is like. And you can see here it's prompting me to get me started. Hi, I'll help you build a new GPT. You can say something like make a creative who helps generate visuals for new products, or make a software engineer who helps format my code. What would we like to make? I want to make GPT that generates realistic images of Squishmallows based on my description. I would also like the option to upload a hand-drawn image of a Squishmallow and have it generate an image based on that. And you can see here it's updating the GPT based on that prompt we provided it. So back in the day, you'd have to actually develop something like this to have it generate. We're doing it with text, with our own creativity, and with prompting. All right, it says, great choice. The GPT will be a creative partner in bringing Squishmallow ideas to life. How about naming it Squish Creator? Sure, I like that. Let's go with it. Sounds good. All right, now it's generating the profile picture. So that's going to be the logo that you see here, and it's going to create that for us, actually using DALL-E 3. All right. That looks cute, kind of looks like a Squishmallow a little bit, so we'll go with it. Looks good. All right, now it's saying let's refine the context of the Squishmallow. To begin, let's focus on its role and goals. Consider its purpose to generate Squishmallow images. Which specific features, qualities should it pay special attention to? For example, should it focus on unique textures, colors? All right, so let's give it some different questions or things we would like for it to pick up on. Use these questions to get a description of what the Squishmallow should look like. And actually, let's say ask the user these questions to get a description of what the Squishmallow should look like. All right, and it's saying a couple other things. Should it ask for clarification if it's confused, and what should be the tone? Let's say yes, it should ask for clarification, and it should be playful as young kids will use it. All right, it now says it's fine-tuned, playful, and engaging, and it's ready to use. But before we do that, I want to show you what's happening in the back end here. So if we flip over to the Configure tab, and you can do this at any point, which is kind of cool. You can see what your prompts are building on the back end. So you see the name there, the description also shows up over here on the right-hand side, the logo, and the instructions. As Squish Creator, you're a playful and engaging assistant specialized in creating realistic and appealing images of Squishmallows. So it's using all the detail we provided. Focus on the color, theme, special features. So it doesn't actually pick up on those specific questions I gave it. So let's test it out on the right hand side here. We may want to tweak that in a minute. So let's say create a unicorn Squishmallow. Okay, so it is asking the questions here. So it is picking up on what we had provided earlier. All right, so let's answer these questions. All right, so we've answered the questions here, and you can see it's now creating the image based on the prompt we just gave it. And that looks pretty good, actually. It looks like a Squishmallow. Pretty interesting stuff. But what we can come over here and do is update some of our instructions to make it more explicit. Like one of the things it did not ask is what it loves to do. So let's come in here and say, make sure to ask the user these questions prior to creating the image. Okay, we'll do that. Another thing we're going to do too is let's give our GPT some context of what Squishmallows actually look like. I mean, it's done a pretty good job so far, but what we can do is come over to our knowledge base, and you can upload this on the Create tab here as well by just adding an attachment, but we're going to go ahead and do it straight in the knowledge base. So we'll upload a file of what Squishmallows actually look like. So you can see here, I've uploaded this image. It's just a library of Squishmallows. So now it has better context of what they look like. And I'll also add in here the attached image in the knowledge base is an example of what Squishmallows look like. So now it has that data. So think about that, how powerful that is. It's using the data we're providing it. This is its brain, if you remember. So now it knows what Squishmallows look like. All right, so let's give it another try here. Create a unicorn Squishmallow. All right, so now it's asking the questions more explicitly here, and we are going to answer those. All right, so I've answered these questions. It's teal and rainbow, it has polka dots, has playful personality, a glittery horn, and I said it's playing in the clouds amongst rainbows, so I'm setting the background for the image, and it has a flowery crown. Okay, so looks kind of like a Squishmallow. It's not photorealistic though, so let's make sure we add some instructions here. Make sure the image output is always photorealistic and looks like a real Squishmallow. Also make sure the Squishmallow is facing forward. So we got a forward on shot. All right, so let's update that. All right, we got our questions again. Let's answer those. Let's see what it gives us. Much better. Okay, this thing looks photorealistic. It looks like it has that squishy texture. It's got the rainbows in the background. It's got the polka dots, the flowery crown, all the things. Like your kids would love this. It's kind of a cool idea. And there's actually companies that will turn your own plush creations, like that you hand draw or whatever, and they'll create them for you. So kind of a neat idea that you could actually create and build. Like imagine that company that does that. They could create this GPT, plug it into their user experience, their solution, to make it easier for kids or whoever, or companies or adults, to create the idea that's in their head and allow them to then create a real plush toy. So just a kind of silly but fun example here. So the last use case we'll try, we said that we would also like to be able to upload an image. So I have an image that my daughter drew of a Squishmallow. You can see it here. It's of a boba tea. These are kind of the new hot drink. It's got these little balls in the bottom, but really good tea. So let's say create a realistic Squishmallow based on this image. Let's see what it gives us. And there you go. Like it's this plushy looking boba tea, really cute. I got to show this one to my daughter after we're done. Congratulations. Now you've created your first GPT. Now this was a fun, kind of silly example, but I hope you see the power in this. Like if you wanted to actually code and develop this, it would take an extremely long time. And before these foundation models, like the ones by OpenAI, and there's some with Google and other companies out there, but before that, like to actually train something like this up would take an extremely long time. It would be very expensive, but we did it in a matter of about 10 minutes or so. So I hope you see the power in this. Your action item for this course is make sure you actually go and try to build this GPT and make it your own. You could even go in and say, as part of your custom instructions, after it's generated, create a short story about my Squishmallow. The kids will love that. Now they have like a personality and a story to go along with it, a bedtime story, whatever it is. So go in, make it your own, have fun with it. And like always, if you're finding value from this course, tell your friends, your colleagues, your family, whoever, and leave a testimonial as well. We really appreciate it.